Well, the main trend in Nigeria right now is that we have a growing number of competitors who are crossing the borders, coming in from Europe, coming in from North America, who are also challenging the banks in their traditional turfs. You have a growing amount of individuals who are also multi-jurisdictional, who make demands on the kind of products that you provide to them in terms of wealth management, and who are also quite discerning in terms of their needs and requirements. You have a challenged economic climate right now. In Nigeria, rate of inflation is as high as 18%. So therefore, the pressures on wealth managers to deliver over and above that is also quite significant. So all in all, it's a trend that's showing that private banking is becoming more demanding. It's clearly the opportunities are also growing and large, but it's also a trend that shows that only those who are quite knowledgeable and who know the markets would succeed.
And now, in the case of First Bank, you do private banking in Nigeria only, or you do it in other neighboring countries in Africa?
Well, the immediate focus for us is in Nigeria, though First Bank, as a bank and institution, does have presence in other countries. We do have a presence in the UK, in London. We do have a private banking center there. We're also present in a few other African countries. But the goal for us is to be able to transcend being just a Nigerian private bank to becoming a global private banking institution. Well, a lot of the growth would come presumably from the millennials. We do have a situation where for quite a few of the private banks, you find out that the client base is actually quite older, but there is an emerging affluent and ultra-high net worth group of individuals that are coming in from the younger generation. I think a lot of the growth over the next decade would be coming from those groups. I think a lot of the opportunities would also be coming from product innovation in terms of being able to deliver to those kind of clientele who, like I had earlier alluded to, are quite discerning and who also make demands and performance on their wealth managers. Innovation, and not just innovation, but also when we look at the growth of fintech in other parts of the world, it's also an area that clearly would drive growth in Nigeria, and not only in Nigeria, but also in Africa. A lot of the younger generations are quite tech savvy. They're also quite price sensitive in terms of what they pay for wealth services. And so therefore, the place for leadership for any private bank that's going to be a leader, market leader, is being able to understand those groups of individuals and being able to deliver value to them in the way that they do demand. Well, regulation is a very relevant issue in Nigeria for two good reasons. One is the fact that over the last decade, there's been a focus globally in terms of sources of wealth, in terms of responsibilities being taken on by financial institutions in terms of knowing their clients. A lot of the regulation simply surrounds those areas, and what we have seen in Nigeria is that the regulators are making more demands on private banks, and not just private banks, but also the commercial banks, to be more responsible in terms of knowing their clients, in terms of being able to provide sources of wealth, in terms of being able to document those clients if and when there's a need for that to be done. The role of regulators, I would also say, shouldn't be one that is stifling to business. As you know, the nature of the private bank is one that's highly sensitive. I mean, we do deal with clients of diverse backgrounds, diverse orientations, diverse experiences. So I think that the regulators in Nigeria in particular do recognize that while there's a need for us to be seen to be responsible, they also don't want to kill the business. So it's just keeping the right balance in between that. Yeah.
Thank you so much.